Welcome back for another episode of Civility Wins, the Family Law Edition. I am your host, Kristin Goss, founder and owner of KWG Family Legal and Mediation Services. We help families divorce with civility, creating a legacy for themselves and those they love most. And I have with me today my good friend and esteemed colleague, Denise Simmons. Thank you so much for joining me, first and foremost.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
We're going to have some great conversation, so you definitely don't want to miss. But before we get into the conversation, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And before I get into our discussion, I want to introduce our esteemed guest today, who, for those of you who may not know her, I'm going to give a little background. So we have with us recognized as South Florida's most influential and prominent Black woman in business and industry, and she's a recipient of the 2021 Legacy Builder Award. Denise Simmons, of Haitian descent, is a change maker who is determined to revolutionize her community through the entertainment and healthcare industries. Alongside her husband Mario, they have recently become franchise owners, check this out, of Wisdom Senior Care, providing compassionate care to seniors in their homes. Denise is also an excited board member of the South Florida Institute on Aging. Additionally, she is a proud member of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce, the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce, hi Shahiwa,
Hey.
and the Bridge Church, where her entire family attends and serves. A giver at heart, Denise can also be found hosting dance chair exercises called Grooving in the Chair with Wisdom throughout senior living communities in Broward County. Thank you again for being here with me, Denise.
Hey, thank you.
All right. So this topic actually is really, it hits close to home for me because back in 2012, well, actually, technically 2010 to 2014, I was my father's caregiver until he passed away. And I wish I knew you then and the services that you offer, because it's extremely instrumental. And I know that you're going to encourage, uplift, and provide excellent resources to our audience today. Yeah. So first and foremost, though, I want you to share with the audience how you ended up getting into the industry and what is Wisdom Senior Care.
Yeah. So I am the product of Haitian immigrants who immigrated here in the 80s. And so I always say this, that I've always witnessed my parents just working hard. And throughout the years of growing up, we lived in Belle Glade. So shout out to anyone, Muck City. And then we moved to Liberty City. So we went from one poverty-stricken area to another poverty-stricken area. And so all while just seeing my parents, try to build, and they're working hard. They're trying to, navigate the American way of life. And so growing up, I knew for myself that I always wanted something more, and I knew that I had to work hard at it. So growing up, high school, and going into my adulting life, my parents started to just decline. I started to see that. So I am in New York, post-graduating University of Florida, and I'm starting to get more calls of just, doctor's appointments. They're either missing it or they need the doctor's appointments to be made. Mind you, I have other siblings, older siblings. So I just found myself being more in the know and in the weeds of their doctor's appointments. And then when I would come to visit, I would have to take them to their doctor's appointments. And each time their health diagnosis just started to get worse and worse. And so for my dad, it was his diabetes, it was his cholesterol, it was managing his insulin. For my mom, it was her memory. I found myself, the doctor asking my mom what the date is, what's your name, do you remember when you were born? So just things like that. And so it continued to be a challenge. And then I started raising my family. Me and my husband met in New York. And so we're growing our family. And so I found myself, I'm in the middle. And I found myself, I'm a sandwich generation individual. And so I became, and I didn't know, I was a caregiver for both my parents and now my mom. And so being someone someone who's entrepreneurial, hardworking. I always had an entrepreneurial mindset, and just knew that if I want to get things done, I want to make things happen, I got to do it for myself. And so I had that in the background, and I knew too that I wanted to build a legacy. I wanted to create generational wealth. And so with that, being business oriented, I was like, Lord, I want to get into franchising, but I wanted to connect with a franchise brand that I can really I'm compassionate about. I identify with, because that's where it's not all about the money. I have to be able to connect with it. And so one thing led to another. God led me to Wisdom Senior Care. And Wisdom Senior Care is a franchise brand that provides, and our focus is to keep seniors happy and thriving in their home. And then that's when it really dawned on me, like, okay, I've been a caregiver for all these years. Now I'm able to connect with a business model where not only am I creating an atmosphere for our clients to receive the great care that I had to figure out and try out through different agencies and individuals, but we're able to provide quality care. We have a staffing of people that feel valued. And so it's like I'm giving back in a way of what I was going through, the challenges and feeling overwhelmed with being a caregiver for my parents. I'm able to provide that for my clients and our caregivers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Share with the audience, what does that look like on a day-to-day type of thing? Because I know a lot goes into it with, and this is home, like you're providing services for a senior or people that are in need at home.
Exactly.
So what does that look like if somebody were to be researching, they're having those issues with their parent or a loved one, they don't know where to go, or they don't know what is out there for them?
Yeah.
Take the audience through what that looks like.
So there's two main ways of caregiving. You have the private sector, where you can go to an online platform like care.com, and you can hire individuals privately, and they'll call themselves a certified nursing assistant, CNA, or home health aide, HHA. And those are the individuals that you'll hire, and you're paid directly. However, there's a caveat. You're hiring someone and you don't know their background. They can say they, been through this or have this, but who's vetting them? Do they have insurance? Like, you really don't know the full story behind that person, but you're paying them directly, and the cost may be between, I would say, $20 to maybe $25 an hour for that, for a good quality. If you're paying anything less than that, then I'm going to tell you right now, you're getting what you're paying for. All right. So those are the private. Now we have the agencies where we employ, and we have our employees that are our staffers, and they're HHAs and CNAs, where we have to have insurance on them. We're vetting them. They have to have a level 2 background check. We're regulated by the state of Florida. And so we have these regulations. We have these stipulations. So when we're sending our caregivers into the homes of these individuals, you can trust and believe that they're vetted. These are trusted people. They're trained. And they're continuing to get annual training. So those are the two types of caregiving. And then there's how you pay for it. So if your parents, aging loved one, have Medicaid, it has a certain allotment of hours that they can get. So you can get maybe 80 hours a week or the month, but it depends on your health insurance. And then Medicare is just starting to get into the realm of providing home care services, but it's really checking with your insurance. And then for the better quality of care, and I'm not just saying this because of our industry, but really the private pay sector is where you would really get a higher quality of care, because we're paying our caregivers more. We're on top of them. You have a team, because with the private caregiver, if they call out sick and your mom needs to be taken to the doctor's appointment, who are you going to find? But with an agency, we approach it as a team. So we're going to have a backup to the backup, and then I'm the last resort backup. So there's always a care team for that individual. So the pay, how the approach to care is different, and it's really figuring out the type of care your parents need. Maybe they are at a state where they can't live at home. Like you can't send an individual, like they have the severe dementia, memory loss, or they need extensive like skilled services. Maybe they need a nurse to really check them, or they have, so there's facilities, there's nursing homes, there's ALF, independent living, but 80% of our seniors want to age in place. So we're all about how do we keep them aging in place, happy, thriving, and doing it in a safe place.
That's awesome. I'm going to take you a little bit back. You mentioned your mom. How is she doing?
My mom is doing the same.
Okay.
Because and it's so weird with dementia. Like it's like a slow death.
Yeah.
And it's like you see, it's like every day you're seeing your loved one just regress in a way that is like, it's not an immediate, like if someone had a cancer, they die in 3 months, or a car accident, it's immediate. It's like a weird feeling that you feel like you feel this, you see this because you remember your parents in this state, and then you're progressively seeing them forget to speak. And so my mom is at a place where, thankfully I had to come to terms where I wasn't able to kind of care for her like I wanted to, like I could, because of being in the sandwich generation. But she's at a point where she's doing okay. She's doing okay. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. I mean, this is what most people are concerned with, right? Yeah. And I say this a lot because I do estate planning, as you know, and people don't want to talk about it. It's not a sexy topic, but it's necessary.
It is.
To have certain things in place also, even for 18-year-olds.
Oh my gosh.
You have littles now, I have littles, but when they turn 18, even though they're going to be your babies forever, and when they're 18, I can imagine, because I know when I was 18, I thought I was grown and I thought I knew everything. But you still want your parents to be involved in doing certain things, but you can't have them do certain things without having certain documents in place, even at 18.
Yep.
So it's very important, people out there, when you're listening to this is the care side of things that can go so much smoother having things in place, whether it's a power of attorney, a healthcare designation, a will, a trust, other documents to make sure that your loved ones are taken care of. And especially in our community, I know a lot of times communication is a non-existent thing. I don't know.
And you bring up that, and it's so important to highlight, because if I didn't put a will and trust and had my parents sign that back in 2016, we had to sell my parents' home in order to care for her, to give her the best quality of care. And if I didn't connect with an attorney to make sure I had that paperwork in order, I know for a fact me and my siblings would have been fighting to this day. So the fact that you say that is so important. We don't think that we should, or we don't want to have those difficult conversations. But like, how do you, I'm going to push it back on you, like how do you help families to kind of have those difficult conversations, especially between like siblings, because it's so important, because we're not thinking in the future.
Right.
And thank God I did, because I would have been in a horrible situation. But like, how do you help like families try to like get that conversation, or start to broach, okay, we need to get mom and dad a will and trust, get things in names.
I think for me personally, and I think it's different for every individual, and you have your personal story as to why you're doing what you're doing. For me, I experienced that. I went through guardianship with my dad. I went through 2 years of probate litigation. Loved my family, but unfortunately it happened. And so it's personal to me to ensure that nobody has to go through. And my dad did have a trust, but I think that there was still certain things lacking communication-wise. And then you add on other things that make it complex. I don't know about your family's dynamic, but my family was a blended family. I was my mom's only child. And
mine is too.
I was, you mentioned that there's like an age gap, I think, between you. And so I'm the youngest in my family. And there's a huge age gap there. So I think there are other added factors to things.
We're in the same boat.
But I think it's because personally, going through it personal, and it was, to lose a loved one. I lost my mom in 2010, and then 4 years later, well, actually prior to that, caring for my dad, and then going through guardianship, and then losing him in 2014 and having to go through 2 years of probate litigation. At the time, I had 3 girls. My oldest was 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 when he passed. Married, young family. So it was a lot because you're having to navigate, how do I deal with this grief? I lost my parents. And after losing my mom, she and I were very close. There's that void, of course. But then it's like, okay, I have one parent left. And, you're putting your all into that one parent. And then they're gone. And then to top it all off, you have other added factors and court involvement and all of that. And I'm like, I don't want anybody to have to feel what I'm feeling. Going through grief counseling, I even went through that, which I would recommend for anybody, any kind of counseling. We all need counseling at times because life is tough out here.
Exactly.
And it's okay to seek counseling and however that looks for you, but it's important to have those conversations. But it's personal for me, and that's how I phrase it, having it as something where people can relate to and taking it from there. Even being parents, I think one of the things that I think is the hugest hiccup for parents is maybe with the children, who's going to be the guardian, because you may not see eye to eye as spouses, but just put somebody down, because 9 times out of 10, you won't need it. But in the event something happens, do you want your kids to be wards of the state?
Come on.
I'm asking you out there. Do you want your kids to be wards of the state?
So true.
I don't. I know that, So, it's just for that added protection and that peace of mind.
That's it. Peace of mind.
Yes. So making it relatable. And it's something that everybody needs.
Yeah. So. And I love that you come from a place of experience because I believe that's what makes you the best attorney, especially when it comes to family law, because like you're giving advice because this is what I went through and I don't want you to go through it. And you have that passion to back it. So oh my gosh.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot.
It is.
And it could help. it hurts you too, physically, mentally, all kinds of things. And I want to be here for my children.
Me too. I want to be here for like my children's children.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like that's that generational, like that's why we get into business, like especially with franchising. Like I want to see that wealth, that generational wealth, and what does that look like? And so it starts with legal documentation. Like you got to protect your assets, you got to protect your kids' assets, you got to protect your aging loved ones' assets. It's like, and it's just, so what, it costs a couple or a few $1,000s.
Let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
Over $50,000.
Okay, and
for an estate that was not a $1 million estate, over $50,000 just for the attorney's fees,
ma'am. And it could have just cost.
And it could have continued, but there's a point in time where I was just like, it is what it is.
Just have it.
I'd rather let it be at peace. And we keep it moving, move forward.
Oh my gosh.
It could have gone on and on. There have been, I have a probate currently over 5 years. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So you can only imagine. And you can only control so much when it's out of your hands. Yeah. And so, people, please make sure you're prepared.
Yeah.
But going back to you, so what is like one tip you can provide a family that is in need of, a service like yours?
So the most important tip I can provide is start to have that conversation of, Mommy and Daddy, how would you like to age? Do you see yourself in the Bel Air of, assisted living facilities? Do you see yourself living at home? Where, do you see yourself in, in South Florida or in an island? Because having those conversations now it'll make you feel better when you start to make those decisions as their health decline and as they age, and things will happen. A fall can break a hip, and then now they are in a nursing home, and because they haven't been moving, now they can't, now they're wheelchair bound. Like, it's just so many things that compound. But you'll feel so much better when you have to make that hard decision. Okay, we're going to put them here in this facility, or okay, we'll be able to provide 24-hour care in their home, and we have the home, safely protected. You'll feel so much better. You'll feel so much better. I'm telling you, like, I cannot stress that enough. Just have that conversation, get their wishes right now, have it written, see an attorney like Kristin over here, so that she can help you to get those protections and write it in the trust and everything, and have give you peace of mind.
Yeah. And when they're, like, unfortunately in your mom's state, like you said, good, it's a blessing you were able to get things in place, because people, you can't come when the person is not able to make the decision.
You can't. Like, no, especially with dementia. Yeah. Like, if they're at a point they're not able to remember things, I can't come to you as a lawyer and be like, ma'am, can we do this
for my mom or for my dad or whomever else. The guardianship, that's what prompts the guardianship, which you don't want. You definitely don't want. What are some resources out there that people can look into when they're planning for something like this?
Yeah, so definitely I'm going to always shout out my girl Kristin over here. She's a number one resource, because you are well versed in family law and know what the steps that needs to be taken. Definitely look up your local area agency on aging for different, like, if there's if your parents are living alone, there's senior centers, there's nonprofit organizations that offer companionship and different services for our seniors, depending on the level of need that an aging loved one needs. Connecting with, we are the type of agency where we're highly integrated in the community. So I'm a big proponent of advocating for sandwich generation. And so we have tons of pamphlets and checklists to help guide you through the process, what to do first, who to connect with, so that because that information is needed so that you can make the right decision. So I think starting there, your local area agency on aging, nonprofit organizations that give back, our church community are full of people just with a love that will stop by your parents' house and, check in on them. But I think that would be a great place to start, you and the local area agency on aging.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I'm going to ask you, this is a question I'm just reading your bio, because you're heavily involved in church, which I think that's also something we have in common. And you mentioned there was something about dancing in there.
Yeah.
Okay, tell the audience a little bit about that. I just thought that was interesting.
So because I love music, I'm an old head. Like, I can listen to 50s, 60s, like it just came out today and it's the new bop. And so because I love dancing, I love music, and I've always, like, when it comes to old people and kids, like, I can sit in a room and just have a blast with them. And so this was a way for me to kind of connect with different senior living facilities throughout Broward County. I just didn't want to come in and say, hey, we're a home care agency, give us your clients. No, this is what I'm offering. And so I would just come in with my little speaker box, and we just groove in the chair, and we're listening to Tina Turner, we're listening to Elvis Presley, and to see these people who have dementia, they 80, 90 years old, I play a song and they're like, that was the song that my husband proposed to me over 50 years ago. That's so sweet. Girl, when I tell you, like, it's just,
in my eyes.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And they have so much wisdom. And, like, I just love being in the space of wisdom. And that's why I just love the brand Wisdom Senior Care. But that's what grooving in the chair is. I just come, dance with them, and we just have a blast.
Oh, man. How often do you do that?
So I try to do it at least once a month. And, whatever facility that would kind of have me, I usually connect with the activities director. But it's something that I would love to do more of, because it not only brings me joy, it brings them joy, but they're doing some physical activity in a chair, and who, that's adding years to their, more some more days to their life. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Before we close, if you can share with the audience where they can find out more information about you, if you have any upcoming projects that you would like to share, please do that as well.
Okay. Well, first of all, just like I mentioned, because I'm a member of the Sandwich Generation, I am a huge advocate. So we have a Sandwich Generation virtual conference in September 6th. It's going to be 2 hours of just jam-packed experts that are going to be talking about finances, Medicare versus Medicaid, what is home care, home health, legal planning, all the things that you need to understand to be able to make the right decisions for your aging loved one. Awesome. Anywhere you can find me, Wisdom Senior Care, Fort Lauderdale. Call us 954-779-5989. I'm on social media as Denise Simmons, and you'll find everything that's connected to the work that we're doing. And then we're also expanded our services. We are also providing affordable housing for seniors as well, because that is a insecurity that our seniors are facing, especially those who are on a fixed income. So I'm all about, like, how can we help? How can we do better, especially for this generation of wisdom as they live out their golden years.
I love it. I love it. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you for having
Denise Simmons, you guys, please, if you need to reach out, she's a phenomenal resource. She's amazing. And Wisdom Senior Care. So you have watched another episode of Civility Wins, the Family Law Edition. Again, I am your host, Kristin Goss, founder and owner of KWG, Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, warm, and gracious attorneys. And until next time, please, again, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. We will see you again. Take care.